Good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? Hey, y'all look wonderful. It's so exciting to have more people here. And thank you for being masked. We like to have everybody masked so everybody can be comfortable. I want you to hear me, so I've removed mine temporarily. But if you're close by somebody who maybe is not wearing a mask, you could either ask them to wear it, or you could always move. So you have to take care of yourself. We're so happy to be running again here at Music at Noon. And in December, we like to have larger ensembles, which attracts more people, and that brings the spirit of the holidays to us. We're getting a wonderful spirit from our 20-member flute choir, and there's nothing like it anywhere in Sacramento, and very few choirs, flute choirs like this in the entire United States. All because the director, arr.Melicharek, has pulled together a most signature sound you can find for a flute choir, which includes, and he's going to talk about it later, which includes a bass flute and a contrabass flute. Most people haven't seen them, and they can't believe the way they look. You can see them back there, and he'll talk to you about that, and they will probably demonstrate these unusual instruments. But the sound of Camellia City Flute Choir is signature. It is a sound unlike you've ever heard. I still remember the first time I heard it, 10 years ago or more, and that memory never has left me, and you know how that is, the first time. So welcome to Music at Noon here in Sacramento, California. We're live streaming, so you may be heard in Germany right now. They're having an evening concert of Music at Noon right now in Germany. So, thanks for being here, and thank you, flute choir members, for coming together and with all your discipline and joy that you bring to us. Please give a warm welcome to the choir and to Dr. arr.Melicharek.
Believe me, we are really happy to be able to be here. It is wonderful to get a chance to play again at Christmas time, and we are so pleased that all of you could come. Our first number is an overture to the overture miniature for the Nutcracker suite. I don't think I ever hear this, but what I think of the Fred Waring arrangement for choir that started out, "Come, ring the curtain up, the drama is beginning. Watch as the merry music brings a bit of make-believe." The next piece is based on the actual old ancient Plainsong, O come, Emmanuel. That will be followed by a change of pace. We have a jazz concertino played by Anne, who is one of the members, been with our choir for 6 years. We're very happy to bring to you the ancient Plainsong, O come, Emmanuel, and a jazz concertino by Peter Senchuk.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy to see you. For those of you who don't realize, it's been 2 years since we've been in live performance. But part of our performance today is to introduce you to some of the unusual instruments that we have in our ensemble. And Brad had made mention of several of them. One is the contra flute, and if you will be so kind as to raise those up. They're about 8 feet long. They're kind of the equivalent to one of those mid-sized pipes in the pipe organ. And we're going to just play a little bit, just a simple scale so you can get an idea of what they sound like alone. So we're going to go ahead and play a scale from C on down to your lowest C. So. Sound. Yeah. And those are our basses. And we're very fortunate that we have actually 3 players who are dedicated to playing those instruments, and it makes a huge difference in the quality and the timbre of the sound in our ensemble. Next is our sort of tenors in the ensemble, and these are the bass flutes. And you can see they're about half the size and half as skinny. So I'm going to have them do a scale 2 beats at a time, starting on your C and down to the bottom. Thank you. Next in our ensemble is a flute that is a little more common. It's frequently heard in jazz ensembles, and in the late 19th century became part of an orchestral ensemble, the Daphne and Chloe Suite being one of the major works in which the alto flute was played. But it has been a mainstay in our ensemble, and most of our players own an alto, and this gives us a fair amount of leeway to have things that we might not otherwise be able to play. And so if you'll raise your instruments and likewise play a scale for us, quarter notes. That's a nice, really mellow sound. And then finally, we have the concert flutes, which most everybody is familiar with, and we'll give them a demonstration as well here. Here we go. Nice. And of course, our demonstration wouldn't be complete without our piccolos. And we're going to have our dueling piccolos today. One's going to start from the top and one's going to start from the bottom, and they'll meet at the end. So here we go. Very nice. Very nice. So this is the mainstay of most flute choirs. We're fortunate to have more altos and basses than most. But there are other instruments within this family that you don't always see, but in some of the larger groups on the East Coast and in Germany and Japan, they have what's called the double contra, which is, think of it, 3 times as thick and twice as long. And it's so big you have to put it on a stand. You can't hold it in any way. And then there's another one which is slightly larger than this, a subcontra in G. And there's some flutes in between all these that the Japanese have designed for their flute choirs. So while you're listening to the rest of the pieces, try to identify those instruments in the pieces that we're playing. You'll hear the piccolos as solos. At the end of, or towards the end of the program, you're going to hear a work in which we highlight just the low flutes alone. So without further ado, we'll continue our concert. Thank you.
One of the many benefits of playing in this group is that Dr. Melicharek, it does marvelous arrangements for us. The next two pieces were both arranged for our choir by Dr. Melicharek. First is Scherzo. Scherzo was written for the organ by a very famous organist in the late 19th, early 20th century, Edwin Lemare. And his works, he wrote over 200 works for the organ. And you might find that the flute choir sounds a bit like an organ when we play this. After that comes another overture. We're playing the overture to the Magic Flute by Mendelssohn. Oh, Mozart. Sorry. Forgive me, Rude. I'm sorry. The French Nativity Suite consists of 3 very well-known French carols. First is Il est né, He is born. Second is Bring a Torch, Jeanette, and Isabella. And the final is Pat a Pan. Listen for the piccolos, now that you know about all of the instruments. Listen for the piccolos particularly. The composer of this arrangement is a piccolo player. Jolly on the Housetop is a combination of jolly old St. Nicholas and Up on the Housetop. We think you'll recognize the tunes mixed together, but this is one that we especially like because this is played only by the low flutes. This is our heavy metal composition. And again, we are so happy to be able to play again. And thank you for coming. And this song says it all.
there was a little body language that made me think there might be one more, but you'll have to wait till next Christmas for that one. Marty, wow, it's Marty's Magic Flutes. A true musician he is. Classic classics and classic pops. Love it. And it's so great that you're all here to share it with us. We thank you for that. You're warming up our building, you're warming our spirits, and I hope we're warming yours too. And choir, there's nothing like it anywhere in Sacramento, probably only about 4 or 5 of anything that's even close in this country. And it's all because of all of you and Marty. Marty's majestic, melodious, magical flutes. And it's all the more special because it's been a while since we've seen you. Has it been 2 years? It's been 2 long years. So, the return is so sweet, so special. And Marty, you choose such interesting pieces and so contrasting in style. It just makes for a great program. So we can't thank you enough, and we certainly hope to see you in the spring, I think it is. Don't we have a date? How about the summer? We don't work in the summer, do we? Well, if we don't have a date for you, we've got to do something about that, don't we? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we're just kind of starting the engine back up again, and sometimes it doesn't always do everything we want it to do. So, thank you again so much. Let's have one more round of applause. And they do it out of goodwill. But if you'd like to make a goodwill offering, it will go to repair and purchase of instruments for the choir, and it will also help to pay for some of our personnel. Next week, we go to the choir department, and we have Chantusa, which is a women's choir, and under the direction of William Zinn. Hope to see you then. Thanks for coming. Take care.